Hey there, welcome in. If this is your first time here, my name's Chris, and this is Entei's Inferno, a podcast about Pokemon hobby, but more importantly, how it actually feels to be a part of it. No hype, no shouting, just one calm thought at a time about a hobby a lot of us care deeply about. And today, I want to talk about something I think a lot of collectors are feeling right now, but don't always say out loud. If you've ever opened Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and looked at the Pokemon hobby and felt more confused than excited, this episode is for you. Not because you don't love the hobby, but because there's so much noise around it right now that it's hard to hear your own thoughts. Today, I want to talk about how to separate signal from noise, and how to collect in a way that actually feels good again. There's a lot of noise in the Pokemon hobby right now. And I don't mean excitement. I don't mean passion. I mean noise. Just noise. Every time you open Instagram or YouTube, TikTok, it feels like someone is yelling at you about the next big thing you're supposed to care about. This card is up. That set is dead. This box is a must buy. No, wait. Now this one's the play. And if you blink, the arrows change from green to black to red to green again. I mean, it's crazy. There's people that I see on different platforms, and I'll literally see them week one. They're telling me that this card and this set and this, that. And then next week, I don't hear a peep about that card or that set. They're talking about something else. I mean, investment is cool. Don't get me wrong. I am not anti-investing at all. I think it's great. But when every single voice is pointing somewhere in a different direction every week, it stops becoming information and it starts to be pressure. And that's where things get messy. I've caught myself feeling confused more than once. I mean, I always find myself confused, but when I'm talking about the Pokemon hobby, you'll hear people talk about these insane trades. How I turned this into that. How I traded a box of tissues to make my way all the way up to a PSA 10 Charizard. Half the time I'm sitting there thinking, how? Market prices don't even line up in this trade. The math just doesn't math. And somehow everyone else is finding packs at retail while you're not. I mean, for me, I feel like when I see all these big trades and stuff like that, I feel behind. And I get annoyed that I can't do it or I'm not at that point yet. But then I catch myself. And then I see someone buy a full case of a certain set and they start telling you, oh, this is going to be the next big thing. And suddenly you feel like you're supposed to care. Like you're late or you missed something. And then you realize you can't afford it, whether it's financial or emotional, maybe you don't even want it, then that frustration creeps in. At some point, I had to take a step back and ask myself one simple question. What do I actually need right now in the Pokemon hobby? Because the truth is, that signal changes depending on where you are or how you're feeling. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to collect singles. Sometimes I just want to appreciate the artwork of a card. Sometimes I want to look into the sealed collection. Sometimes I want none of it and just want to enjoy what I already have and own. Listen, there is no better feeling, in my opinion, than liking a card or a set purely because of the artwork or how you feel about it and you think it's sick. And then later, realizing other people caught on to it too. I mean, I've had countless cards like this. One of them is, and as a lot of you know, I'm chasing the Greninja from Twilight Masquerade. I should have just bought it 7 times at this point. But because I've been opening Twilight Masquerade a lot, I was really looking at the cards a lot more deeply. And I found myself looking at the Chansey illustration rare, which I don't know if you guys know the card that I'm talking about, and forgive me, I don't have it up in front of me, but Off the top of my head, it's Chansey, it's Blissey, it's Ditto and Bellsprout and Snorlax. And they're all in the Pokemon Center, which is just such a cool vibe. And the illustration hit spot on what like a Pokemon Center would feel like with Pokemon inside of it. And I found that card and then I graded it myself after I pulled it. Came back at 10. I was like, this card's so cool. Then all of a sudden I had people telling me it's worth like $300, $400. I was like, really? Another one that's crazy is the mouse hold from, what is that, Paradox Rift, I believe? The illustration rare. I thought that one was super cool. It had a bunch of like little mouse. It was kind of cute. They're like laying in the field and stuff like that. And I was like, this card's cool. I bought like one or two of them. I thought the artwork was sick. And I was like, you know what? This one's really clean. Let me grade it. Came back at 10. I was walking the show the other day and I saw a mouse hold listed in a PSA 10 for $750. When I bought that card raw, it was like $3. People were like paying me to buy it from them. That's not chasing hype. Let's just put it that way. That's being early to your own taste. I think this is where people get it twisted, though. Collectors who genuinely want to play the investment games, sealed, slabs, things like that, yeah, they probably need advice. There's strategy there. It's kind of like chess. There's risk management. It's kind of like stocks. But collectors who just want cards that they love or think are really cool, they don't need advice. They need permission. And don't think of it as like, oh, Dad, you gave me permission. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean permission to trust themselves. Permission to be different in a world where everybody wants to be the same. Permission to zig while everyone else zags. Because when you consume too many opinions, something weird happens. You end up owning a ton of cards you don't even care about. Not because you love them, not because they mean anything to you, but because everyone else told you to do it. And then after having them and realizing you don't like them, then you feel obligated to sell them, make your money back, or whatever it is. It's like being surrounded by participation trophies, honestly. Yeah, you have them. Congrats, little Jimmy. You have a bunch of cards that everybody else thinks is cool. But you didn't actually win anything. You didn't actually collect something that means something to you. So it's just a bunch of participation trophies. Everybody has them. So here's the filter I try to use now. When someone says, buy this, I ask why. Is it the artwork, the Pokemon, the set design, the pull rates, the nostalgia factor? If someone says this is the next big thing, I ask what makes it different? And here's the key part. You don't ask these questions to argue in the comments or whatever. You ask these questions to yourself. You ask them so that way you can decide consciously what to do. If you question it and still agree, that's great. Pull the trigger. You agree with them. At least you made that decision on your own. If you question it and it feels a little doubtful, that's information too. Missing out isn't failure. Sometimes it's clarity. I mean, just think about, I know everybody talks about it, but think about Evolving Skies, right? You have Evolving Skies. Do you think everybody that owns Evolving Skies right now bought it at base level? You think they bought it for $150? No. Most of them were like, this set's cool, but I'll just buy one. Okay, I don't need any more. Oh, it's up at $250? I'm okay. Oh, it's up at $500? $1,000? $1,500? Yeah, guys, there's other opportunity out there. And if you don't make the right call the first time and trust your gut, it's okay. That's data. You are now taking in data and figuring it out for the long run, so that way you can then do something about it in the future. I mean, I know people that missed out on Evolving Skies in the beginning and the middle, and they still have tons of it, that they got it at the high end, but that high end is now the middle. So yeah, it's not about the money always, but certain areas it is. The Pokemon hobby gets a lot quieter when you realize something simple. And I like that I kind of set this up with the money thing. But at the end of the day, it's your money. Yeah. Do we not realize that, people? You literally do not have to spend it if you don't want to. You can spend it on sealed, ripping packs, playing the game itself. You can spend it on raw cards. You can spend it on slabs. Or you could just not spend it at all. The choice belongs to you. Not Instagram. Not some hype guy on YouTube. Not the loudest voice in the room. Now, if this episode helped even a little, if it made you feel less behind, less pressured, or just more confident in what you actually enjoy, shoot me a DM. I want to hear about it. I want to hear what you're collecting quietly, or what you're feeling pressure about, or honestly, what you love that no one else is talking about. Guys, I can't stress this enough, but those conversations and the humanity of this hobby is what this podcast is really about and what keeps it going.